Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. And is there any point to having a recap for US-1 at this point? US-1 is a comic that needs to be seen to be believed. A Marvel toy-licensed comic ostensibly about slot car racers that turned into a weird-ass sci-fi adventure with a truck-driving superhero and his souped-up big rig. Just watch the other episodes if you haven't already. Hell, watch them again to make sure it wasn't a fever dream. US-1 is incredibly stupid, and we love it for that. It cares not one bit for your stupid logic or rational plot developments. You want to know how awesomely dumb this thing is? Last issue? Aliens. And I don't mean, oh, there was a bright light in the sky that was implied to be extraterrestrials. No. I mean, dude met an alien who needed chicken parts to power his spaceship. So let's dig into US-1 number 6 and see just how the hell they can top that.
Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go, and a short...
The cover is okay, a bit of an odd duck, although honestly, US-1's covers have always been a bit surreal with the imagery. In this case, our central figure in the cover is this biker, but is surrounded by shadowy images of more bikers, a very shocked US-1, a kinda sorta surprised wide load, and a revolver with the words, "Welcome to Peaceful Vista" written out. The Hells Angels finally decided to form their own community, but were quite shocked by what was voted as the town name. He's bad.
So bad.
He's mean. He doesn't use turn signals. He's Iron Mike, king of the bike. And there's Chester, the bike jester. Also Steve. He's just the bike treasurer. We open with a shot that seems strangely common in these books. Someone getting thrown out of the short-stop truck stop that Ulysses Solomon Archer calls home. Nothing promotes trucker culture more than painting them as being incapable of entering gas stations without breaking out into fights every 5 minutes. Geez, just look at the angle this guy is leaving and how he's probably gonna land. I'm pretty sure he should be dead. US gets out of his truck to investigate. That's funny, this guy looks too well dressed to be one of the usual brawling crew. This episode of Kitchen Nightmares isn't going very well. Wide Load comes leaping out the window as it seems the guy is indeed still alive, somehow. I warned you to mind your manners, but you were as rude as can be. Why, I've got a good mind to make you pay for that window you busted when I threw you through it. Yeah, the customer service could use some work, but damn if this place doesn't make great fajitas. I'll sue you for assault and battery. What's that? Good idea. I ought to assault you with a battery. Fortunately, she only had button cell batteries on her. Turns out the guy is from the bank and they're late on their last mortgage payment. Because that's a reasonable excuse to throw someone through a window. Admittedly, he may have been an absolute scumbag or something, been really insulting or whatever, but we don't see any of that. Our introduction to the guy is simply him being assaulted for no good reason. Wide Load says they'll have the payment somehow and to get the hell out of there. If you don't make the payment by the end of the grace period, it will be my pleasure to foreclose on this filthy hovel of yours. This is gonna turn into Drag Me to Hell, isn't it? No one treats Phil Agreed that way. I'm gonna go talk to my boss, Steve McMoneybags. This is indeed a very real problem for people, but of course US-1 can't let it go without something ridiculous. Mr. Legreed. US and Retread stay back to eavesdrop on the conversation of Papa Wheelie, Wideload, and Mary. US wonders why they didn't tell him about their money troubles, but he soon finds out why. We've spent so much on US and his super truck that we let our cash flow slow down to a trickle. Well, that and your weekly need to replace dishes, furniture, and windows from all the constant barroom brawls, I'd imagine. Add on the hospital bills for putting the metal plate in his skull, and they've basically used up all their savings on him. See, it may not be aliens, but the thing about US-1 is that it's still amazingly shocking, because after the insanity from last issue, they're switching gears, pun intended, to something legitimate in a story like this. The sheer expense of everything they've done. I'm actually surprised they decided to talk about it. Anyway, they don't want to mention their financial woes to him out of fear of upsetting him, which just irritates US even more. He proceeds to punch a wall, causing reality to rapidly shatter around him, I imagine. You hear that, Retread? They must have remortgaged Shortstop to help me out. And do I carry my share? No! I haven't smashed the walls of the place with my bare hands for weeks! I'm not pulling my weight! US recounts his backstory to Retread, how much he loves trucking, how his brother Jeff was willing to sacrifice his own education to make sure Ulysses could go through college, the highwayman, etc. Well, I still don't know what happened to Jeff. There was an explosion, but no trace of Jeff was found. All I could find were these random ashes and charred body parts that kind of looked like Jeff's. No idea what could have happened to him. US swears to find Jeff, thinking he's still alive, and also to fix the financial problems of his adoptive parents. Unfortunately, when they return to Shortstop, they find it surrounded by cops. Yeah, US-1, turns out you just barely qualify for the Superhero Registration Act. You're gonna be partnered up with brute force! Heading inside, US and Retread encounter the cops and the good Mr. Legreed again. Legreed is pressing charges for the earlier assault. Again with this issue doing things that actually make sense. What the hell is going on? US asks if there were any witnesses to corroborate Legreed's story about the assault, but everyone in the room denies seeing it. They're obviously covering for her. Arrest her at once. Well, I guess we'd better. This new Smokey and the Bandit movie lacks the punch of the originals. Still better than the TV movies. One of the trucker patrons steps up to defend Wideload. Are you gonna take the word of this snake oil salesman over all us hard-working, hard-driving citizens? Snake oil salesman? He's a banker collecting on a legitimate mortgage. I'm not unsympathetic to their plight, but she did throw him through a window, you jackass! Oh, and just to make the situation even better, the truckers attack the cops. Hard-working and hard-driving, but apparently not hard-thinking. Too much confusion. No chance to draw our guns and put a stop to this. Oh, sweet merciful crap. The good news is that the cops apparently do know Wideload and Papa Wheelie, so their hesitation earlier is that they don't want to hurt or arrest anybody. As such, despite Wideload practically choking him, said cop recommends they get the hell out of there until things cool down, and he'll try to get Legreed to drop the charges. US, Wideload, and Retread do indeed make a run for it to the truck, but Legreed runs out in front of them. I thought I saw those rapscallions sneaking out the back. Rapscallions? What are you, from the 1920s or something? Halt! Halt, I say! Phil Legreed commands you! I am a servant of the secret checking account, wielder of the mortgage of honor. The dark loan payment will not avail you, trucker of Udoon! Go back to the foreclosure! You shall not pass! And get this, Wideload actually slams her foot on the accelerator to try to run him over. Well, I guess the reason they financed US-1's truck was so they could have a murder wagon. What the hell? Because all three of them were stuck in the front seat, when US manages to swerve and avoid hitting Legreed, Retread gets flung out of the truck. Yahoo! That's the most fun I've had in a month of Sundays, US. Let's go back and take another shot at him. 100 points if we manage to hit Retread too! US is convinced that he'll never drop the charges now. And it's not an unfounded thought. What the hell? It was fun at that, but we'd still better keep you away from the diner until things calm down a bit. I would like to remind you all that so far, the bank guy has done nothing wrong. It'd be nice if the snooty, greedy asshole actually acted like a snooty, greedy asshole and not someone who's an innocent potential murder victim. Sometime later, US and Wideload go to see jobber Carosella, who shockingly is not a car salesman, although he does lose a lot of professional wrestling matches, to give him some hauling jobs out of town so they can make some money while staying away. He gives them a job, though he admits it's gonna be a bit dangerous. I think it's already pretty dangerous when you've got a serial killer in front of you. Well, it's like this. I've been sending some boys out west, Arizona way, to a little town called Peaceful Vista. Well, that sounds pleasant. It's a nightmarish hellscape of murder and mayhem. They've just got a really good tourism department. A gang of bikers have been pillaging the town, hijacking shipments into it, and beating up a good chunk of people. They've tried calling the cops, but the gang waits for the state police to head out again before they storm right back in. US is reluctant, but Wideload accepts quickly. She worked hard on her Princess Leia cosplay, dammit, and she's gonna show it to somebody. We cut to a few days later in Arizona, where nearby, Johnny West seeks out people to give Acme boots to. There's some brief character development, with Wideload happy to be behind the dashboard of a rig again, and US happy to have someone with him to talk to and drive at other points. They apparently also called Papa Wheelie, who says that things have calmed down back at the shortstop. Yeah, nobody's seen LeGreed for a few days now. It's weird. On an unrelated note, don't look in my garage. I'm, working on something back there. They arrive in Peaceful Vista, but it looks like a ghost town with nobody out on the streets. Wideload honks the horn to get their attention, and people do start coming out, but then the bikers arrive. The townspeople scatter at the approach of the gang, with the lead biker hitting his brakes in front of US and scattering dirt on his pants. Why, that lowdown! He sprayed dirt all over your clean dungarees, US! Want me to run his head underneath that motorcycle wheel? I'm Iron Mike, king of the bike, and head of the Heavens Devils MC. We're actually technically a hunting club, but we've expanded our operations as of late. He's here to take all their supplies, but US says they're here for the townspeople. Conveniently, the mayor of the town is there, so Mike grabs him and says he's a townsperson too, so he should be given the supplies. Mike then proceeds to toss the mayor into some garbage cans. That does it! You can ride roughshod over this town, steal my cargo, but if there's one thing I can't stand, it's a litter bug. And Mr. Mayor, don't think I've forgotten about your part of the littering. My spine is broken in 3 places. And if any part of your spine ends up on the ground, you better pick it up. US tries to punch Iron Mike, but as evidenced by his inability to punch out a wall, it's not his strongest skill. US and Wideload run back to the truck, deciding to take on the bikers in a vehicle fight. And, well, let's face it, these are not exactly Fast and the Furious style smugglers or the like. In a battle between semi and motorcycle, the semi is going to win. If that wasn't enough, the money invested in the truck was money well spent, since not only can the truck turn on a dime and force a bunch of the bikers to slam into the trailer, but US unleashes a bunch of tear gas into them. I was gonna criticize this since they're all wearing helmets, because hey, they may be violent criminals, but we need to exercise proper safety here. But a lot of the visors for their helmets, and some don't have a visor, are actually pretty open on the bottom, so yeah, face full of tear gas. And after the tear gas, for some bizarre reason, they get out of the truck to beat them up with a wrench and baseball bat. And never mind about proper safety, US and Wideload bash their heads in, so I'm not sure what those helmets are made out of.
Great, I got the cloth helmet.
And with one last smack of the bikers into the trailer, they are defeated. Well, US, it looks like we solved Jobber's problems for him. And we did it by causing broken bones, concussions, and probably killed a bunch of them too. Good times. The townspeople are pretty grateful, especially since it humiliated the bikers to be defeated by an old lady and some young guy in a truck. However, Iron Mike isn't through yet. You may have beat my boys, but you haven't beat me! So I'll make you a deal. We race, you and your truck against me and my bike. Winner take all. for the bossin' rats to Peaceful Vista. Or, alternatively, they can shove a caltrop up your ass and call it a day. Just saying, dude, you're not exactly in a position to bargain here. However, US is a sporting sort, so he agrees. Still, he's not stupid, and physics are physics, so he unhitches the trailer for the race. And indeed, the truck is pretty damn fast, so Iron Mike has to resort to dirty pool, aiming himself at a random kid to try to force the truck to get between them and losing a bunch of his speed. However, the truck is still too damn fast for him, so he decides to shoot out the tires to end this. Before he can shoot, though, the truck releases a smokescreen, making him not only unable to aim, but sending his bike right into a lamppost. Somehow, he survives that with no injury and demands to confront US mano a mano. However, it turns out the driver of the race was, in fact, Wide Load. Iron Mike got beat by an old lady! Witness me, asshole! Well, that explains why the truck directed Mike into a streetlight. Wide Load was thirsty for more blood. But yeah, the townspeople cheer her, and Mike is too humiliated to carry on, just walking off and thinking how he should have been an accountant. Or you could have learned how to play card games on your motorcycle. I hear that's a popular career path. Nearby, US reveals something rather stupid. Poor Mike, he'll never know I was helping Wide Load the whole time, using my handy silver dollar remote control device. Oh, boo! Let the old lady show she could be awesome. Not cool, comic. Wide Load's good, but even she would have been in trouble against that clown without a little help from that nifty robot drive system the coin activates. Why? Even with all the equipment, it's still just a truck. Ugh. In any case, he asks if this was the highwayman's idea, but Mike has no idea what the hell he's talking about. That part is good. There's no need for every adventure US goes on to be part of the highwayman's machinations. And so our comic ends with Wide Load stepping away from the cheering crowds for a bit to calm herself down, but she's suddenly tapped from behind by a whip. She immediately declares that she will do anything that the whip owner tells her to do. And given the history of this book, that probably means Midnight from issue 2 is back. This comic is sadly a step down from what has come before. After encountering a friggin' alien in the previous issue, to take on a bunch of bikers who only show up in the last half of the book seems kinda crappy. If this had been in issue 4 or 5, I wouldn't mind. But again, last time we had an alien! Plus, the bikers weren't exactly formidable opponents, not even as outlandish or interesting as Midnight or Baron von Blimp. Hell, I'm pretty sure neither Iron Mike nor any of his bikers show up again for the rest of the series. And while Wide Load is pretty awesome, her situation is partly her fault for roughhousing and nearly killing Legreed. It just makes her seem a bit unlikable. This issue is still rather stupid, but not quite as enjoyably stupid as some of the others. Next time, it's back yet again to Star Trek with the first comic for Voyager. Let's see how Captain Janeway can screw over her crew in comic book form. Hey, kid, what are you up to? Oh, just working on the future message again. Have you seen 90s Kid? I want him to do some recalibration to the neutron blasters on Comicron 1. Nope, and he hasn't answered his phone in a while either. It's starting to get really frustrating not having people around when you need them. Although, come to think of it, we haven't seen him in a while, have we? I'm sure he's got a life outside of this place. Oh, right. Anyway, I was gonna go out and do some Pokemon going. You interested? Yeah, I'll come. I'm getting nowhere with this thing. Great, I'll get some water. Doesn't make any damn sense. Why send me a message from the future unless it was something vitally important? But if it was that important, why not just come out and say it? Why the puzzle? Maybe in the future we communicate in riddles. Well, we already know that's true because the future contains the phrase, "That's totally Kleenex." I don't know, maybe it was something they couldn't say openly, like they were afraid someone else would find out what it said. But who else would care? Ugh, I need something to work backwards from. What do the numbers mean? I thought maybe the 0, 6, and 7 bit meant that we took the letters where there's a 0, 6, and 7 above them and make a message from that. But there are too many combinations with all those letters. It could be anything. Well, come on, let's just go hunting for some Magikarp down by the lake. Right. Close to the truth now. This is less than radical.